do you guys need a recap?
I remember the last thing is that, didn't that guy put me to sleep and Weston
He put both of us to Oh, yeah, I was unconscious.
No.
You already knocked the hell out.
I was
dude.
knocked off. Go.
I'm also going to chalk that up to the reason you went down so quickly was because, one, you had been in a fight, and also you're pretty drunk.
That's fine with me. What was his name? Did he ever give us his name?
He sure did not give you his name yet.
But he was like an elf or midget or something. Right?
Midget's not a race.
He was there's halflings. He was a half elf, is what.
Half elf. Yeah, that's it. Midget, same thing.
Okay.
Elves are tall.
And he turned into a fly, right?
Yeah. He turned in and out fly form.
Got it.
Does he think he's better than me?
Here we go.
The GM, am I right?
Oh, hello, Iris. I remember you. I sure do from my editing sessions.
I can't keep it closed. My door won't.
Alright, here we go then. The camera slowly, then abruptly, cuts to Bagyo's face as he's hearing a bunch of voices inside of this place, and his vision starts to blur, but then it comes back into focus as he's staring up at what looks like a dark ceiling with, it looks like a stone ceiling with some stalagmites or stalactites, I can't remember which one's on the ceiling. And as you come awake, you're hearing voices in the background, and then you see Griffin still unconscious on the ground next to you.
Can I make out what the voices are saying?
You sure can.
What are they saying?
In the distance, you hear. You recognize the voice of the Genasi, the Earth Genasi you guys are facing last session, and you can make out another voice outside of the cage that you realize you are in. It's not really a cage, but there seems to be some makeshift bars in between you and another room.
Like a little cell?
Yeah, it looks like a cell with you and Griffin in it.
Okay.
And if you look outside the cell, you see the Earth Genasi in a chair tied up with the Fire Genasi on the ground next to him, also tied up, and it looks like he is in a worse condition than he was last time.
So wait, so Griffey looks worse?
No, the Fire Genasi.
Oh, okay. Was it the Fire or the Earth Genasi that I cracked in the head?
It was the Earth Genasi.
Okay.
The Fire Genasi was the one who was left standing when you were on 1 HP. The Fly Man, half elf came in. And the person who is talking is not the Earth Genasi. The person who is talking is coming from this. This is the hard description. The person who is talking is standing in front of the Earth Genasi who's tied up in the chair.
Mm-hmm.
And he's wearing this white oval mask over his face with a thin line where his mouth should be on the mask. No eyes, no nose, nothing else to the mask. And he's wearing a static pink cloak over his entire body. And he is sitting there staring down at the Earth Genasi as he is continuing what he's saying. And he says, "Now, can we get the rest of that?" And the Earth Genasi speaks up and he says, "I'm not telling you anything. You got your cronies over there, don't you?" And the masked individual disregards that and then starts heading towards the Fire Genasi and picks him up. And he seems not to be... The Fire Genasi doesn't seem to be in any sort of condition to stop him or speak or anything. And he just holds him up by his shoulders, and he faces the Earth Genasi, and he continues on, and he says, "Now you're going to tell me, what do you mean by we won't be able to stop it?" And the Earth Genasi stays quiet. At this moment, Bagyo, if you want to do anything, or if you just want to listen to the conversation, you can. You just got to let me know.
Can I move at all?
Yes, you're not tied up.
Okay. And am I still laying down, or have I gotten up, or what?
It's up to you. What do you want?
So I'm going to set up, because Bagyo's not one for spying. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to set up and I'm going to say clearly to the room, what's going on here.
Once you say that, the Earth Genasi snaps his head to look towards you, and he says, "See, they're awake now. You can leave us be." The masked individual doesn't really say anything, and he starts to twist the Fire Genasi's arms. The arms are tied up, and he starts pulling them towards the ceiling. So they're behind his back, and the masked individual is pulling his hands toward the ceiling, as in, like, trying to hurt him. And it is obviously working, because the Fire Genasi starts, like, swaying around with his feet, and he's making some pain noises. And then the Earth Genasi says, "Come on, man. I'm not... He's not... He's not here for... He doesn't know anything." And the masked individual says, "Well, that's his problem, I suppose." And he continues on with the pulling.
I'm not going to be able to stand seeing someone be tortured like that, so I want to say, "Unhand him!"
And the Earth Genasi says, "Come on, man, listen to your friend. He doesn't want anyone to be hurt here." And the masked individual stops for a second and turns very slowly to face the cage with Bagyo in it. At this moment, Griff starts to stir and wakes up.
What happened?
Friend Griff, we've been shanghaied.
Where are we?
I do not know, friend.
Can you both roll perception checks for me?
I'm not going to. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Ooh.
Mine's +1.
You guys both rolled 14s. That's funny.
And that's your favorite number?
+1.
I got +2.
15 and 16. What you notice about this room is that it has what seems like 3 makeshift cells. It looks like it was just a room. Like, not necessarily a room, but like a cavern, I should say, to your eyes.
Right, and I assume that we're in one of those 3 cells?
Yes,
okay.
You're towards the back.
Do we notice anyone else in the other ones?
You actually do. You notice the 2 buzzards that you also had an altercation with last session.
Oh, okay.
In another cell, not adjoined to yours, but you can see them.
Are we in the same cell?
No, not with the buzzards, but you 2 are in the same cell with each other.
Okay.
The rest of the things that you notice is that the masked individual is holding the Genasi, Griff, the Fire Genasi, like, talking to the Earth Genasi, and in the rest of the room you see all these different types of vials and potion-looking things, these types of liquids, all different colors, and there's fire burning, almost as if he's cooking, but it doesn't smell correct.
Is it like alchemy?
Yeah, you could assume it was like some type of alchemy work that's going on.
Does the smell seem familiar to either of us at all?
I don't think it's familiar in any case, because it's all different types of smells. It doesn't seem to be one potion in particular. It seems like it's a bunch of different things. They could all do the same thing, or they'd all do different things.
Okay.
But you'd assume that it would probably be all different if it's all different smells.
Right.
And then you also see far across the room on the other wall towards the top is kind of like a window, but it doesn't seem to... It looks like it goes out into the town, or the city, I should say.
Okay.
Is it ground level, or are we...
Not. It's not ground level with you. But
right. But like, if we're looking out of this window, do we see the ground? Like, is it like
a basement?
Are you in a basement?
Yes.
Okay.
Specifically like that.
Okay.
And now the last thing you heard was the Earth Genasi say your cronies just woke up, and even they don't want this to happen. The last thing that you notice is that the buzzard Eric grabs one of the bars of the cells from the other cell and looks onward in silence.
I am no one's crony. What's going on here?
The Earth Genasi continues, and he says, "Like, if you want to say that you're not part of this, then I don't believe you. But your friend is here trying to take some information from us. Information that we don't know."
Why would a friend lock me away? I'm in the same boat as you.
Can you make a persuasion roll?
Oh,
damn.
That one, dude. He says, This is all just a trick. It's all just a dirty trick. By that, you had us distracted while he took us out.
Okay, when he says he, who is he talking about? The masked?
Yeah, the masked guy.
And this guy thinks that we're in on it?
Yeah. At that moment, the masked individual pulls the fire genasi's arms higher to the ceiling, and you hear a sick crunch.
He just broke his arm.
And the fire genasi wails in pain before going limp in his hand.
You fiend!
The masked individual looks towards you guys real quickly, and you can't see his facial expressions because it's got a mask over, no eyes, just that thin little line where his mouth should be. And just as quick as he looks at you, he looks back at the Earth Genasi, and he says, he's only got so many bones to break. You could, tell me what I want to know, or he's just going to keep getting a little bit more hurt, and a little bit more hurt every time this happens. And the Earth Genasi says, he doesn't know anything. And then the masked individual goes closer with the Genasi in his hands, and he says, yeah, but what do you know? You were the one who said to these boys, very clearly, you can't stop us. So what did you mean by that? And then the Earth Genasi stays quiet for a while, and then he drops. After the long silence, the masked individual holds the fire genasi up higher towards the ceiling, and then drops him with a thud. And he turns and starts walking towards your cage, and he says, all right, he's not falling for it, boys.
I go, falling for what?
What is this? What do you want?
The plan, guys. Okay, come here. And he gets closer to your cage, and he pokes his head closer in, and he says, now listen, you guys play along, and I don't have to do anything with you guys. I don't have to do anything to you guys. I just need information. You guys were the ones who messed up my plan by going after, 1, the 2 I was following for several days, and then 2, the other people that might have something to do with the thing that I'm after. So can you please play along? Otherwise, I'm going to have to do something else in this condition to you guys. And I don't think you guys want me to do that. And honestly, it's not like it would be too much of a bother for me to do anything to you guys. I just don't think it would be good to the mission.
I'm sorry, friend. I'm not one for subterfuge.
And what about you? And he points to you, Griffin.
Well, what's the plan?
Griffy.
I'm not trying to hurt anyone. In matter of fact,
clearly.
I'm trying to save everybody. As you guys remember, they said very clearly to you, you can't stop us. Or, if I can remember, you can't stop what's happening, or something along those lines. I need to know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And he turns to you, Bagyo, and he says, now, if you help me, maybe I don't have to inflict as much more damage as you don't like. And I could actually, move forward without, being a pain.
I say we go with it, Bagyo. It'd be in the best interests of us.
I shall assist as best I can, but I will keep quiet.
All right. And he pulls out a tiny vial, and he puts a drop on 3 of the bars in front of you guys. And as he does that, they just kind of dissipate.
Sorcery.
As he does that, you notice from the top of the... I'm using your perception from earlier. You notice from the kind of the window up in the distance, a couple of heads pop in and looking down, and you hear them say, they're in here. Are they? Yeah. Can we reach them? Yeah, we just gotta find a different way. And they run a different direction.
Who were they? I'll say out loud.
I don't know.
The masked individual turns to the other cell, and he says, oh, you remember those guys.
Did you not hear The ones in the window.
He turns quickly to the window and he says, no, no one's going to notice anything through that. I put some magic barriers that way.
Bagyo kind of gets quiet about it, and he's getting increasingly frustrated with all these ghost kids.
Now he looks at Griff and he says, now, if you don't want me to hurt this guy, I'm going to need you guys to somehow get this information out of this guy.
What is the information you're after?
Well, he clearly said that something was going to happen in this town. He's part of the government in this town. He is collecting taxes, and I need to know what is in this thing. And he pulls out that jar of multicolored, like, sands and what's in, or whatever is inside. It has, like, all these different colors of powder. And he says, I could figure it out, but it could take several days, and it could be dangerous. And I don't have that type of time.
Do you have any idea of what it could be?
I have an idea, but it's most likely wrong.
Is it dangerous?
It could be severely dangerous.
Is there anybody after it?
Well, clearly these guys.
Other than them, are there multiple groups after this, whatever it is?
Well, me and him. And the only reason I'm after it is because it seems very important to him. And if it is going to be used to do something to this town, especially during the Festival of Spirits, as you know, where several thousands of people are going to be in this city, I don't think it's going to have a very good outcome.
I say we go for it.
What do we need to do next?
Well,
Bagyo's very frustrated.
First things first, you gotta wear these. And he pulls out these two oval blank masks that looks just like his, except they have nothing on them. And he says, put these on, give them back afterwards.
What is this?
It's a symbol.
No.
Bagyo reluctantly takes it slowly.
And
he kind of looks it over. Do I feel anything coming from it? Does it feel weird at all?
You're gonna roll an investigation on this.
I'm gonna also do a...
Griffin takes the mask, too.
Alright. So I rolled my investigation, got a 14. It's gonna be -1, so 13. And then I'm gonna also roll history, which failed, so it doesn't really matter. But I tried to roll a history to see if I recognized it at all.
Now, can I roll investigation as well?
Yeah, you can.
15, and my investigation is +3.
What I'm going to say is going to apply to both of you. Not, like, Weston...
Like I share the information with Bagyo?
Yeah, let's just say that, so I don't have to, like, give BJ a filtered version of what I'm about to say. You can also roll history at any point in time as well. But first thing first is what I'm going to say is... It doesn't have much magic to it, or it doesn't feel like it has anything that's going to, I don't know, hurt you in any way. It doesn't feel like it has any properties other than being a symbol, but it also does have some type of, I want to say, aura of power. It doesn't feel like you could figure it out and like to use it for anything, but it definitely has some type of properties, and it makes you feel a little bit more, I want to say, hardy, if that makes any sense to you.
Okay. I want to do a history as well.
Okay, roll that.
Well, shit. I got +1, so 10.
I can't give you everything, but I will tell you that this seems like a very familiar thing. Maybe not to you particularly, but this seems like you've seen this somewhere.
Okay, so we've definitely heard about this.
Probably. You can't remember much.
Well, no, I don't. I meant him.
Yeah, so you guys both take the masks?
Yeah, I'll take my mask.
He says to you, too, he says, I need you guys to get the information out of him, any means necessary.
Exactly. The Earth Genasi.
The Earth Genasi, and if the Fire Genasi wakes up and you speak the language, you can roll with that boat, but I don't know Primordial.
So, at this point, do we continue? Do we go over to the Genasis?
At this point, you guys can do what you guys would like to do.
And we need to get the
the Fire Genasi is passed out. So
okay.
You can try waking him up, but again, he doesn't speak
English.
If you remember, he doesn't speak Common.
But,
Okay, so Bagyo's probably going to do good cop on this one.
Yeah, I'm definitely bad cop, for sure.
So,
you feel lucky, punk?
And then Bagyo's like, listen, man, I can't hold this guy back forever. So why don't you just tell me? No. So Bagyo's going to go up to the Earth Genasi. I'm going to is he standing or is he sitting on a chair or what's he doing?
He's sitting on a chair tied up.
Or
seems like there's a lot of rope around it.
Yeah, is there another chair?
Yeah, you can pull up another chair.
Alright, so Bagyo's going to pull up another chair. He's going to sit on it backwards so he knows he's cool. And,
I think the bad cop needs to come in first. Is that how this works?
Yeah, I know. I'm just sitting there watching.
Okay.
I nod at you, Griffey. Okay, go ahead.
Insert finger cracking noise here. Alright. So, I've been told that we need some info out of you. You know how this is going to play?
I have an idea.
Alright, good. Now I don't have to explain it to you. We're just going to jump right into it. So, Griffin, I don't want to go too harsh. I don't think Griffin's...
Just kind of give him the old what for, you know?
Give him the old...
Give him a 1-2 buckle my shoe.
Griffin goes up and starts choking him.
I guess. I don't want to go too hard, guys. Chokes him out.
No, where I was thinking was grab like a toothpick. Is this guy wearing shoes? Or is he barefoot?
His shoes have been taken off.
Where'd you get a toothpick?
I don't. Griff always carries one behind his ear.
Okay.
Okay,
no,
fine.
No, I'm kidding.
No, you can do that.
Okay. But I don't. What I was saying is, where I was going to go was take a toothpick under his toenail.
Oof.
And start hammering it. But I don't think...
Yeah.
I don't think Griff is that... I don't want him to be that... Yeah. So I just figured I'd choke the guy.
Okay, so Griffin's just freaking choking him out. Bagyo's got a face that looks kind of like... Oh, man.
The thing is, okay. Griff's choking this guy out, but yet needs him to talk. To give him
Yeah, no, Griff's being dumb. I like it. I like Griff's being a little bit dumb.
Yeah.
Bagyo's going to get up and he's going to walk over and he's going to kind of ease your hands off of him and he's going to be like...
This guy's mocking me, Bagyo. He's not telling me what I want.
Griffin, I appreciate your gusto, but I believe he would give us the information more freely having his ability to breathe.
You can try it.
Griffin, brother, I believe you should tap out. Allow me.
Tagging you in.
So Bagyo drags his chair up. I'm picturing one of those metal chairs that fold out, but, no, Bagyo pulls up the chair, sits on it backwards in front of the guy, right in front of him. Kind of like a cool guidance counselor at a high school.
Yeah.
And, talk to me, friend. What brings you to this situation?
You guys brought me here. You guys and that bitch. He nods to the half-elf in the corner.
Oh, this guy's watching us?
Yeah.
You gotta bring my A game.
Bagyo's gonna say, language. Now, I don't want to hurt you. It is not in my nature.
But I will if I have to.
I wish you no harm. I do require that you give me the information we seek, or my friend's gonna come back.
He nervously looks at Griffin, and he nervously looks at...
Griffey's over there just kind of Griffey's got one hand open, and the other hand's a fist, and he's punching the other hand with the fist.
Now I'm over here doing the little, bouncing on my feet, getting ready,
yeah, I love
back and forth.
And I love, just in his head, Griffey doesn't know what he's doing. but he's just trying to look tough.
I'm slapping my chest.
Save your chest.
I need Griffin to roll an intimidation, and then I'm going to need Bagyo to roll a persuasion.
Yeah. Come on, baby. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. No!
BJ rolled a 15, and Weston rolled a 3.
+2. You get a
so 5.
Okay, so Griffey is trying to look intimidating.
Yeah, I look stupid at this point.
He's trying too hard.
I look stupid at this point.
Bagyo kind of like pinches the bridge of his nose, and he's like, anyway. And I'm trying to keep talking to him. 16. That's pretty good.
He says, listen, as long as... Damn it, hold on, I have a name for this.
I thought the guy died, honest. Could I... Oops.
Go ahead.
An insight? What... Is there a way I could roll that, too? Like, if I...
Yeah, insight into what specifically, though?
What he knows that we don't know? I don't know.
You want to roll an insight to see if, like, he actually has information
Kinda.
that you guys don't know? Alright, roll for it.
Alright, well, I fucked that up. Come
on,
teamwork, dude. Roll an insight.
Well, you can assume that he has information because, like, one, you guys were at the bar, and you guys asked about the jar of multicolored things, and you don't know what that would entail, like, and you asked him about it, and he clearly just didn't want to have that conversation and walk away.
Okay.
So he clearly has something that he's trying to hide. But on your 16 persuasion, he sighs, and he stares, and he says, as long as they stop hurting Eskil, I think we can work something out.
And Nazgul is your friend here? And I gesture to the fire genasi.
Yes, that's Eskil.
What, that fire genasi, what language does he speak? Do you know?
Primordial.
Shit. Okay.
I'm gonna look over at his friend on the ground there, passed out, because he got his arms broke. And then I'm going to look back at the half-elf guy with the mask, and I'm going to look at him like, can we stop hurting him? Kind of giving that kind of look towards him. Does he gesture back at all? Does he give me any confirmation that he's going to stop, or...
He shrugs.
I think Griff, at this point, picks up the fire genasi and sets him back in the chair.
And breaks his legs.
No, Jesus. Just kills the guy.
As you were picking him up and putting him in the chair, like, at first, the Earth Genasi is like, oh.
Afraid that he's going to hurt him.
You're going to hurt him again? And then when you put him back in the chair, he has a sigh of relief. And then he says, as long as the higher-ups don't know, I should be good.
Higher-ups? Now, who are they?
This part's hard.
How far does this go?
I'm just a fledgling. I don't know everything. I don't know how far it goes. It's higher than the mayor, I'll tell you that. But
if you tell us exactly what we want, we'll make sure nothing happens to you.
Yeah, sure. Like you guys have that power.
Bitch, you know who you talking to?
We can make sure, friend, that as long as you are near us or around us, we won't let anything happen to you. That you can be sure of.
I don't know exactly what the powder is for, but I know it has something to do with this town. This whole town, and everyone inside it. During the Festival of Spirits, they're gonna use that powder. I don't know what for, not yet, but I was supposed to deliver it.
Did they give you any warnings when they sent you on this mission to obtain this powder?
That I couldn't open it, touch it, or eat it.
Where are you taking it to?
He stops for a moment, and he looks around, specifically at the window, and then back around himself, and he says, like, nervously, like, this isn't like a sting, is it? Testing my faith to the old Genasi.
Can I roll an intimidation?
You can tell us, and I'm going to roll a persuasion. So, right. Griffey's trying to intimidate you, and I'm saying you can tell us.
Yeah, we're about to tag team this bitch.
Oh.
Woo!
Ooh, both 15.
I got +2.
I got 17.
I got 17.
You both have 17, wow.
So he's scared and... Wait, so he's scared and compliant? Wait.
No, he gets intimidated, so he...
Well, what does Griff do to intimidate him?
I grab the fire genasi, his friend. I take 2 hands around his head, acting like I'm about to snap his neck or something. I don't know.
But Griffey's never snapped a neck in his life, so he doesn't really know.
And I really don't want to do it. Like, I'm not going to do it.
Griffey's like, please, God, don't make me do it.
Yeah. Because I'm a nice guy, but I do what I got to do to get the job done.
Bagyo's eyes get really big, I'm gonna roll an insight to see if he really means to do it.
Okay.
Okay, do I know he's joking? Do I know he's bluffing?
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm like, I kind of give a sigh of relief, and I look at him like, oh my god, dude.
Instead of putting his hands, like, around his, like, chin and his...
He's grabbing his head to snap his neck,
just,
like, not his neck, like...
Yeah. Just grab his temples.
And I imagine he's standing there, like, real awkwardly, like yeah, I'll do it.
I'll do it.
Like,
God, please don't.
So Bagyo realizes he's bluffing, so I look back at the guy, and then I use my perception again, or my persuasion on him.
And you're like, yeah, he'll do it.
16.
He'll do
And
it.
I'm like, do not make him do it, friend.
Just give us what we want, man.
He says, okay, man, please. Don't ask him. And he gives you an address, and it seems to be some part of town that's a little bit more seedier than the rest of it.
What's the address?
It's near one of the buildings by the clock tower, so it's in the center of town, but on the south side.
I always heard bad things about the south side.
What's the street's name?
Lemontown.
Lemontown. I thank him and pat him on the shoulder.
And then Griff takes his hands off the fire genasi and wipes the sweat from his forehead.
Have I heard of Lemontown? Is there anything notable about Lemontown that I might have heard? What goes down at Lemontown, you know?
It seems to be like, not gang violence going on, but it seems to be lots of gang activities, if that makes any sense.
Bagyo scratches his chin and says, such a misleading name. Bagyo likes lemons. Anyway.
Griffin turns to the half-elfling.
Half-F.
Alright. And he goes, so, you got what you wanted. Are we done here?
He starts walking towards you guys and he says, yeah, that was actually easier than I expected. He puts his hand in his pocket and pulls out some powder, and he sprinkles it on the Earth Genasi as he says, so you're gonna let us go? And he passes out from the powder.
Does he die?
No, because you guys, it's the same powder that you guys had been used.
Bagyo is gonna touch this half-elf guy on the shoulder, look him directly in the face, and say, I believe we've earned your name.
He pulls off the mask, and now that you guys are looking directly at him, you guys can see his facial expressions, and you see basically what his actual description is. He's got a dark complexion with these dark golden irises, and this like yarn-like dreaded hair that goes back into a knot. And
so like you say yarn-like, so it's like those dreads that are thin?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're very long, and they go back into a knot, but then after the knot, they continue after that.
So it's a dreadlock ponytail.
That's a better way to put it, I suppose. And he has these tiny spectacles on that if you didn't look at them directly, you wouldn't even notice that they were there.
He had glasses on under his mask?
Wow.
This guy's a psychopath.
Yeah. I bet this guy puts milk in his bowl before the cereal.
Griffy, no, don't say that.
And he smiles for a second and he says, you can call me Elijah.
Elijah?
I don't know. Here's my thing. And I know you guys are going to be against it, but we got to get rid of him.
Bagyo takes a stance and he's like, I'm sorry? Like, questioning-wise, like, I'm sorry?
Well, it doesn't exactly have to be death. Like, that would be the main thing I would do if you guys weren't so adamant against it. But we have to get rid of these Genasi. Otherwise, they're going to go up to somebody, they're gonna tell them that we got them and kidnapped them.
Elijah.
Well, specifically you two, because you guys weren't, masked the whole time.
I cut him off and I say, Elijah, are you magical in any way?
Yes and no.
Well,
can you not erase their memories or give them amnesia of some kind?
You really do have a poor sense of magic, don't you?
I don't understand magic. I just know it's tricky.
Yeah. I have magics in a bottle, if that's what you want to say.
Bottle his memories. He's not book smart. He's wise, but he's not book smart.
Can't you just teleport him away or something? Damn.
That's probably what I'm going to have to do, but I can't teleport him to the only place I can go to.
He seems tough. We should leave him in the middle of nowhere. He can survive.
Fine. I'll get rid of him.
Griffey, perhaps if I hit him with my stick extremely hard, he would forget.
Or he could die.
You gonna give him a concussion? Or like what?
I do not want him dead. I'm sorry. I do not want him dead.
You guys hear in the distance from one of the cells you hear, we could take him out of this place, of Jacobi.
I look over there and see who said that.
It was Eric, one of the buzzards.
Oh. Okay. How do you mean?
If you let us out, and if you don't kill us, we can take him out of the city.
Well, what happens if we let you out and you do try to kill us? Well, then what?
You guys know clearly I didn't try to kill you last time. I tried to walk away.
How do we know you will not let this man go?
Because I'm bartering for my life right now?
Bagyo looks back at Griffin and says, Acha.
And then the half-elf puts on a mask and puts his mask back on, grabs his vial, this vial off of one of the desks, and walks up to Eric, and he holds it up, and it has this red liquid inside, and he says, if you remember, I took a little bit of your cheek, and it's in this potion right here. And with this, I can teleport to any place that you are. And if I send you off on this, I can find you. I want you to know that. And Eric, it's a weird like blush, because he seems more flushed than like, he's like so embarrassed. He's just like nervous at this point, and he says, that's fine as long as you don't kill me or Bill.
I believe this to be our best option, friend Griffey.
Still don't trust him.
I understand, but it's our only choice this time. Morally, I cannot allow this man to be murdered just because he might know something. It's not right.
And can you guys roll perception for me?
Oof.
A 4 and a 3.
But I have a plus 17 on my perception.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
That's still not going to cut it. You guys are too enamored with the whole thing that's going on. Situation with the half-elf and the other individual. The half-elf opens the cage with this liquid, and then he gestures to the Genasi and to Bill, and he says, I'm going to wake them up, and I'm going to have you take them out of the city. I can find you, and I can kill you at any moment, so you're going to have to be quick about it. So this one's going to keep them in a dazed... They're just not going to be focused very much, so they're basically going to be walking zombies for the next 12 hours. Get them as far away from this town as possible. All right? And he hands them another vial, and Eric nods. They do that. They basically wake them all up. Bill, the Earth Genasi, and Eskil, the Fire Genasi. They wake up and they seem unfocused, and as soon as Eric starts walking, they kind of follow. And then the half-elf drops one piece of potion onto them, and smoke evaporates all around the four. And when the dust clears, they're gone.
Bagyo's slightly taken aback.
So you got what you wanted out of us, and you got what you wanted out of them. Now, are we done here?
Well, I mean, yeah, technically. Just stay out of my way next time, if you can.
Tell me this, strange man.
Elijah.
Who do you work for?
Let me answer that question with a question. Who do you work for?
I work for no one.
And do you like that?
I have unfinished business, so I can't be following someone else's destiny.
Exactly. No one wants to follow anyone. No one wants to be in some type of organization or some type of government. No one wants to have to follow the rules made by some person some odd miles away from you. No one wants that. I don't exactly work for, but I do work with an organization that tries to keep out of everyone's business as much as possible, if that makes sense. Can you roll a history check for me?
-1, so 13.
Again, that the idea of that sounds strangely familiar to you. It's like you've heard of an organization like this, but the name escapes you. It's like on the a tip of the tongue type thing.
Okay. So I've heard of it before, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Elijah says, though, now I'm going to be all over this city, and I'm going to be trying to save people. And I usually work alone, so yeah, I'm gonna probably have to keep doing that. Just stay out of my way, okay?
No problem.
Bagyo kind of just goes,
As that happens, you guys see 3 heads.
Oh, Jesus.
They pop out of like a little crack in the wall at some point, and then they start heading towards you guys, and they say, "Hey, can you see us? Like they have to see us, right?"
Bagyo says, "Yes, yes."
Oh God, thank God! And you see 3 children now in like this blue tint all over their body, and they're looking around at the other 2, and they say, "Okay, they can see us. See, we're not going to be alone anymore, okay? We just got to get them back to the other spot." And after they say that, Elijah says, "Yes, what?"
Oh my God. Bagyo literally says that.
Yeah?
Do you not see
Good?
him?
Friend Elijah, do you not see these tiny blue children?
Little smirk looking at
Elijah looks around, but again, like Isabella and everyone else at the bar, he does not see anything.
Bagyo,
he turns back and
Bagyo's getting very frustrated.
It's gotta be something to us.
Boys got me fucked up.
He says, "Listen, we follow back into the, you know what? You can find your way out." And with that, he turns into a fly, and he flies over to the table, and you see like some type of light hit all over all of these different potions and things, and they seem to disappear, leaving a blank table. And then he's gone through the window, leaving you alone.
Friend Griffin, it's getting complicated.
Are these girls out here, or still here at this point?
The kids, yes. 2 of them are girls, and 1 of them is a boy.
So who are you?
We're okay.
How come only we can see you?
'Cause we're lost.
Can I roll like an investigation or something?
Yes.
To see if I know what this shit is? Come on, Daddy needs a new pair of shoes! Come on!
Every time you say that, you get the worst.
Can I roll a history to see if I've ever heard of tales of ghost children?
Smurf looking
at Yeah. You've heard of ghost children. Nothing that you know specifically about.
Nothing helpful, basically.
Nothing helpful. You've heard of this
phenomenon.
The children continue on, and they say, "We're lost. We got lost from our parents a long time ago, and now we're being hunted."
Bagyo's eyes kind of narrow, and he says, "How long ago?"
"I can't remember. It's been a long time."
"Who's hunting you?"
"The lady. She's here every night. She tries to find us, and the people that she can't find, she hypnotizes them to get them."
"What's your name?"
The boy says, "I'm Aiden," and then the girl says, I'm Madeline," and the other girl says, "And I'm Bella."
Do they all seem scared, or just the one talking?
They all seem very scared, and they only seem to be kind of comfortable around you guys. Otherwise, they're looking around the entire room.
"Why are you following us?"
Yeah, why us?
"You're the only ones that can see us.
Why?
We've tried so many times."
"Why are we the only ones who can see you?"
"Why us? What happened? What did I do?"
"Like, we're sorry. We just need help. We don't know. You're the only ones that can see us."
Bagyo's morals start to kick in, and he goes, ah. And he kind of like shakes his head. A little bit of the old Bagyo coming out, but then he's like, How can we help you?" Because Bagyo's super taken aback by this ghost thing. It's freaking him out.
And they say, "Well, you can beat her up."
Where is she?
A woman?
Is she?
"The lady, yeah."
Bagyo, his eyes kind of squint a little bit, and now he's kind of thinking about that woman, and he goes, "Is she like you, if you know what I mean.
She's nothing like us. She comes and she gobbles us up children every night. She takes more and more of us every single night that she's around.
She eats you?
She takes us
to
God knows where. And then Aiden speaks up. Of course she eats us. Why else would she take us? I heard people around here say that kids are delicious.
Where does she go? Where does she appear? Maybe we could see her.
She always appears at night, and she always finds us.
Can anyone see her? Or is she like you, where people cannot see her?
I don't think people can see her, otherwise I'm sure someone would have done something to save us.
And are these... So you're saying these are ghosts? Like we can't touch them?
Are they ethereal? Are they ethereal at all?
Have you guys reached out to touch them?
Bagyo is going to try, because it's kind of something he always does anyway. Bagyo's going to go to comfortingly pat one of them on the head.
And I'm gonna come in with the haymaker to the little boy.
Yeah, Griffey People's Elbow is one of them. Bagyo's going to try to pet the boy on the head.
He sits there and he eyes you nervously as you come closer, and then you pat him on the head, and you can feel him.
Oh,
so
Bagyo is shook.
He is shook. Griffin grabs a little object off the table and...
Thought you were going to say Griffin grabs the little girl. I'm like,
takes off. Takes the object off the table, turns to Aiden, and
throws it.
No, it says catch, and he throws it to see if it goes through Aiden or if he can actually physically catch it.
Yeah, he catches it. Not very well. He tries to toss it. He grabs it with one hand, and then it bounces off of it, and then it goes to the other hand, and he grabs it with both hands finally.
So he catches like a girl. Okay.
Griffin realizes that he's like a physical being, I guess. What's the woman's name?
Yeah, what do you call her? What does she go by?
Daddy.
As you see through the window, it's slowly becoming more light outside, and the kids start backing up a little bit, and they say, Madeline says, we gotta get back soon, now. And Bella says, yeah, we gotta go, Aiden. And then Aiden looks back at you two, and he says, we just call her Lady Lullaby.
Oh, that's creepy.
Oh.
But meet us today, tonight, here. And he hands you like this crumpled up piece of paper, and all three of them run back into this small little crevice as the sunlight comes pouring through the window.
Do they seem to be trying to stay away from the light itself, or...
Is it insight or investigation for this? What do you think?
I would say both.
Okay, roll investigation.
Okay. Investigation, I have so 11. I'm -1.
It doesn't seem to you what exactly they're doing. It seems they might just be afraid of anything. They seem terrified of... They could have seen anything outside the window, and that could have been, like, the thing that they're doing. Or maybe they're scared that something else is happening back where they are hiding, but they're heading off.
Bagyo kind of pinches the bridge of his nose again, and he's just sitting there, like, just thinking. Just trying to gather himself. He's like, okay, this is happening.
And then Griff is pacing back and forth, and he's like, alright, so let's recap.
We have ghost children.
I almost had to snap a dude's neck.
Yes, quite insane.
So we wake up to torture, and we got Elijah has a type of bottle that is supposedly gonna ruin Jacobi, and now we got ghost children that need her help from Lady Lullaby.
What even is Lady Lullaby? Some sort of demon?
I don't know, but we're about to find out, I guess.
And as you say that, Wes, BJ, you uncrumble this piece of paper, and it says, Fiasco's Flying Circus.
A circus? I guess a circus would attract children. Perhaps... And Bagyo's eyes kind of grow bigger. Perhaps she has something to do with the circus. We shall go investigate. Are there any dates or anything written on there? Times, show times, anything like that?
Yes, there are show times. It's not for today. So today being Thursday, this is the first day of the Festival of Spirits. It's not going to be in full swing, but there are going to be people out there.
Kind of like Court Day.
It's going to be, Friday through Sunday are going to be the main days of attraction. Saturday being the biggest, and Thursday being the smallest crowd.
Okay. What is the first showtime for tomorrow?
Evening, 6 p.m.
Griffin, I say we go enjoy the circus.
Sounds good to me, Bagyo.
Alright, so where's the festival located? Do we just know that? Is it something we know?
It's all over town.
Where's like the central hub of the festival, like?
Clock Tower. Near the Clock Tower.
Okay, so Bagyo, knowing that, I'm just going to assume he knows that because, the city's famous. So Bagyo's going to head to the Clock Tower because he sees the largest group of people around that way. So Bagyo and Griffin head towards the Clock Tower. What do we see?
It's slightly crowded. It's a nice little festival that's going on. There's lots of people setting up still, but there's also some type of acts going around.
I'm going to roll the perception to see if any of the stalls are selling grapes.
Yes, many of the stalls are selling grapes. In fact, Jacobi is home to... It's called the Grape City.
Really?
Interesting.
Grapes, one of their...
Import or exports?
Yeah, exports.
Alright. I wanted a food for Bagyo to be really in love with, and
Turtles like grapes.
One of my meme foods that I always joke about with different reasons is grapes, so Bagyo loves grapes. So Bagyo's going to go over to one of those stalls because he hasn't eaten in a while, and this has been a very stressful day, and he's going to buy a bunch of grapes. How much would that cost?
I'm going to take 1 gold from you.
Alright, Bagyo buys a bunch of grapes and he starts eating them. He walks back to Griffin. So, friend Griffin, a grape for you. And he hands him like a few grapes.
Thank you, Bagyo.
Bagyo and Griffin are sitting there munching on their grapes. What do they see? What's going on?
And while you guys are doing that, you see a bunch of different acts going on, like sword swallowers, someone with spitting fire, but it doesn't seem to be a lot of fire, because again, it's Thursday.
Bagyo does not like the sword swallowers.
Any reason there?
Nope. It just,
he just looks like a dick bag, dude.
Bagyo kind of looks at him with this look of, but why?
And as you're panning over the crowd, you see a little booth. It seems to be going on a puppet show, and on top of the booth it says Franklin.
Really?
The turtle?
Really?
Run over there.
Franklin the turtle?
Bagyo goes, the turtle? And runs over there.
A little fourth dimension.
There's a puppet going on, and there seems to be like a few kids sitting there, but they don't seem to be that interested, but they're watching as
Bagyo's very interested in the puppet show because that was one of the few forms of entertainment his tribe had.
And in a really strange voice it says, "Welcome to Jacobi! How are you kids doing?"
I imagine when he said, "Hi kids, how are you doing?" You know how kids usually go like, "Yay, we're doing great." Bagyo replied as well. He's like, we're fine.
Yeah, we're doing good, bud.
We're doing good, bro. Puppet show.
And he says, "I know that it's fun, and I know that I'll be losing some of you kids to whatever will happen here at the Spirits. Steppin' the Pappin'." And it seems like a lot of the rhymes he's doing are him making up words at the last second.
Bagyo's enthralled by the puppet show.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Some poems rhyme, but this one doesn't. The Franklin's mouth opens really wide as if hoping for a laugh from the kids.
Bagyo is laughing hysterically. Like Bagyo is having the time of his life right now.
And Griff is laughing at Bagyo.
Yeah, Griff's laughing at Bagyo.
Because Griff finds it amusing that Bagyo is taken back by this puppet show.
And then the puppet is like dancing, and then the turtle puppet is dancing, and then in comes a pink turtle, and it walks up to Franklin, and she says, "Why you?" And it smacks the other turtle as the pink one leaves, and the other one's like spinning on his back.
Bagyo goes, "No."
The turtle picks his head up and he says, "I can't get any respect around here." And that actually causes a few kids to laugh. And then he stands back up and starts dancing, and he says,
"He starts danking." Imagine he dance.
I thought he said it starts dicking.
"Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill collapsed with laughter."
So the whole time, like when he starts saying that, like before he's finished saying that, Bagyo's like elbowing Griffey, like, "Listen, get a load of this."
There once was a genie with a 10-foot weenie. Showed it to the girl next door.
Bagyo goes, Friend Griffin, you see, 'tis not a man, it's but a puppet. Controlling the man. Puppets can't talk. He's basically very crudely explaining puppet shows to Griffin. Like, 'tis not a man in there.
Griffin rolls his eyes as if, like,
okay.
Like, I get it, man. You don't have to explain it to me.
And it seems like the puppet starts getting bored with the kids, and he starts saying, "Boys have the muscles, teachers can't count. Girls have the sexy legs, so you better watch out."
Oh, God.
And he says, "Now, little kids, get ready for my final trick!" And the turtle ducks down in the thing, and you hear a bunch of different sound effects, like cats meowing, and like you hear like a small explosion, and
like
then,
some glass breaking, I imagine.
Yeah. And then this a dish starts rising up with a stick under it, and under the stick is another dish, and under that stick is a bowling pin.
Oh, like he's balancing them.
Yeah, and as they keep rising up, and like under each one is like a smaller thing, and then finally he rises up. And,
Bagyo is more impressed than he's ever been in his life.
I just imagine, like, as all that stuff is rising up, the very last thing is like a Glock, and he just shoots into the crowd.
The last thing that is being held up is a small rapier, which is like the thinnest sword that you could possibly have, and he finally is holding it up, and he says, "Now, kids, don't try this one at home." And he starts spinning his shell as everything else above him starts spinning, and then at the last second, he basically jumps with his shell, and all of the things fall off, and as they're coming down, he grabs the sword, which goes through the billiard, the pin, I should say, and then he catches all the plates and all the cups in his hands, and then the final thing that's coming down is a golf ball, which lands on his head, and he balances it, and then he goes, "Turtle!"
Standing ovation from Bagyo.
I give it a little golf.
To which he got like a small amount of claps from the kids, and then the kids start walking away, and he says, "And if you like that, then tell your friends." The puppet tosses another.
Does he have a box or a hat where
I was about to say he tosses a hat onto the table
for donations,
as if for tip. Yeah, donations.
Bagyo's going to put a gold coin in there.
He looks up at you. The puppet does, Bagyo, and he says, "Thank you, kind sir. The kids just don't love me like they used to."
I love you, Franklin.
You're the best.
You're the best. And Bagyo turns to start to walk away.
Can you roll perception? Okay, you don't hear anything.
Okay, but what about Griffin? Can he roll a perception?
I mean, if he would Griffin roll perception? I mean, would he be looking out at for this puppet?
I mean,
disadvantage. Say he just happened to hear it. If he hears it.
Well, we're here for a reason.
Yeah, I would say, okay, yeah, no, here's my argument. Griffin's constantly on guard right now.
Bagyo just got so distracted with this thing. Griffin's just...
Yeah, that'll explain why Bagyo did so bad. His guard's down right now.
I roll
that
for
puppet
them.
show fucked him up.
Boy, you got me fucked up.
6.
Dang it!
Hey, you did better than me.
Okay.
All right. Well, so I think Griffin?
So the puppet show had Bagyo distracted, and then Bagyo had Griffin distracted.
I suck at this game. Do we walk around now? I kind of...
Yeah, you basically just walk... Let me just...
I want to buy a funnel cake.
No, you buy the funnel cake.
Okay, no, I'm kidding.
You guys walk through the festival, and you don't really see anything out of the ordinary as far as anything goes. You do see the circus, setting up if you go and, investigate. I'm going to take the reins just a little bit. If you guys want to do anything and say anything, just let me know.
I'm going to roll a perception, because I remember hearing... the Earth Genasi mentioned the mayor. I'm going to roll and see if I see the mayor in town. I do not. Okay, go ahead.
It's 6 again. You don't? At this moment, it's Thursday. I don't think he'd be out and about on a Thursday.
I just figured he might be going through the festival or something. Or maybe putting on a speech.
I don't think there's an opening ceremony tonight. There would be tomorrow.
Okay.
But the circus is being set up at this time. And around the circus, there's a bunch of statues and that have been set up. Kind of have you guys ever been to Chinatown in Chicago?
I've never been, no.
In Chinatown in Chicago, there's a spot where there's a bunch of statues for all the zodiacs. Here, there's a bunch of statues for like a bunch of different spirits or whatever.
Okay.
Some are bigger and some are smaller.
Mostly just your average ones. Like, do we recognize them from just knowing about that stuff? Are there any different ones that we maybe have not heard of?
Like, unless you guys are like familiar with spirits.
Well, Bagyo is, because he was trained by a priest, so Bagyo knows, he would know most spirits, unless they were very obscure.
Some are obscure and some aren't obscure, but roll a perception for me.
16.
So you do know, like, a majority of some.
Okay.
The smaller ones, there's like, Druva, which is like basically, it's like travel.
Okay.
It means North Star. Anyone who's trying to like travel, they probably need Druva.
Okay.
Adya, which is like power elements, great elements. And then you come across a taller one.
Is there a statue of Frisk?
No. Frisk is a god.
I know, but I don't know if maybe they had a statue of him.
But there is a statue, and the spirit statue is dressed in something that you might wear during the winter. It has 2 overlaying layers over the rest of the gown, and it's painted a soft blue. And around the 2 layers on top of the cloak, it has these weirdly designed white lace, designed in some sort of looking like waves over the edges of the fabric. And the hood, it looks like a very fur winter hood with fur around it. So you would put it over your face and you'd see only the fur. And the fur has this multicolored look to it. Not changing in colors, but it looks like there's just a lot of different soft colors. And also in the statue, there's a mask that looks like a traditional Japanese kabuki mask. That's right, kabuki mask with these black eyes with wings on the edge of them, and they have this pastel-y pink lipstick that stretches up into a wicked smile with another few more designs, like 3 on each side, soft blue tears that come off of the eyes. And on the forehead, there seems to be another pastel pink looking symbol of a crescent moon mixed with a sun, with the crescent moon on one side and the sun on the other, but they seem to be combined. The soft blue winter cloak seems to be covering the rest of her body. Being visible is her mask and a little bit of her hair, but you can't really make out what color it is. It just looks very curly in the...
Now, are these statues, like, carved out of stone and painted? Is that what they are?
Yes. That one you don't know the name of.
Never heard of it all, so, like, not even an insight would bring anything to my mind?
No.
Okay.
At this point, I want to say that you guys have been going all day through the festival.
Okay.
But I'm also going to say that you guys went back to the tavern of House Cat Tavern and you took a nap because you guys were out all night.
Yeah, and I figure we've got rooms there.
I'm going to say that while you're over by the statues, the sun starts to go down.
I stick my hand out toward Griffey and I touch the bottom of his hand, and then Bagyo is going to say, "Well, friend Griffin, what a mess we've gotten ourselves into."
Been a long day, Bagyo, but we still gotta find that lady Lullaby.
That we do.
And after you guys say that, the silence between you guys grows as you are contemplating what is going on and what is happening in Jacobi. The sun finally sets, and then you feel a brisk wind come past you two. And as that happens, you hear, you're by the circus, and you hear from a wall where there's a tiny crack in it, you hear, "Guys!" And you can determine that that's probably one of the children.
Well, yeah, no, we recognize the sound. I turn toward it and say, "Kids?
Bella?"
"Yeah, it's me."
"Little Ray Ray?"
No. You guys can't be out here right now. You guys gotta come around this side.
Okay.
How do we get back there?
As you say that, she says, "Oh, I think it's too late."
No. No.
And she's looking behind you guys towards the clock tower.
We slowly turn around.
Yeah, no, me and Griffin both slowly turn towards the clock tower.
And as you slowly turn the clock tower, you guys start hearing this...
SoundCloud.
Yes.
Is this your SoundCloud? Oh,
yeah.
It's going to be fire.
You guys turn around and you see this figure on top of one of the minute hands.
Ooh.
On the clock tower. And it looks like that the spirit you were just looking at, the statue, looks just like that.
Bagyo gasps.
And then you start hearing this.
Follow me, children, I'll sing you a tale. It's time to sleep before the clock's final bell. Sweet dreams are coming, I've brought them with me. Your darling is here to set you all free.
The camera's zooming in around her as she starts singing.
Follow me, children, I swear I don't bite. Fear not the dark, for I am your light. My pretty angels, I see your scarred wings. Allow me to heal you, I am your darling.
And then there's a shot of you two staring up at her. And then the camera slowly pans up to stare back at her in the distance.
Follow me, children, you don't have to lie. I've given you time to say your goodbye. Darling is here now, I'll whisk you away. And if you don't come, I'll be back each long day.
And then finally there's a shot of her on the clock tower as the clouds move, revealing the crescent moon in the background.
It's freaking awesome.
This must be Lady Lullaby.
Yeah, Griffin, I believe that would be an accurate assumption.
Cut.
Huzzah!
But that's the last thing that you guys see. So I want you guys to think about what you guys are going to do next time.
Griffin's over here vibing with it.
Bagyo's like shaking and nervous. He looks over at Griffin. Griffin's like, yeah.
Griffin's doing
Yeah.
diving. Freaking.
Griffin looks over and Bagyo is running.
Running?
He's leaving. Running away. Not kidding.
Yeah, but is he
Griffin's
actually
like-
running, or is
Griffin's
it
like, no, he's turtle running. Leave him alone. No. Griffin's like, gee, what do you think we should do, Bags? And he looks over. Bagyo's like
slow motion running.
Bagyo's like,
Griff, why aren't you coming? Fall.
Griffin, fly, you fool.